Warrior. It's under a cover right now. Is it a Superbird? Is it a Daytona? There's Mike right now. What's up, Mike? What's going on? Oh, there it is, under the cover. Good to see you, buddy. How's it going? How are you doing? Good to see you, man.
Hey, this is Mike Kinney here in North Las Vegas. We're hanging out with car shops and collections. We're getting ready to pop the cover on a rather unique car that was only made for 1 year.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for having us, man. I'm super excited about this. This is like Christmas morning, unwrapping a present. Let's unwrap the Winged Warrior. Where do you want me, and can I help?
Go ahead and start on the driver's front corner.
Okay.
You'll reach underneath and kind of, you'll feel the elastic.
The corner there? Uh-huh.
Yeah, and just kind of pull it up.
Oh!
She's a little shiny.
What do you guys think of this? Oh my gosh, a little shiny.
Well, you know.
This is spectacular.
Oh, thank you, brother. Words can fail. They'll just keep going.
Oh my gosh, the interior. Am I rolling this? We're rolling as a...
Now we're going to get tricky.
Okay.
So for all the viewers, okay, he's kind of a new guy with this, but you do drive a Mopar.
Oh yeah, I'm in the family. I'm the family.
Okay. So far side, dip down, grab the little rubber thingy at the bottom.
Uh-huh.
And just kind of pull it straight down and out.
Down and out.
And you bring it over the top.
And there is your Superbird. You slide this off just like that? Oh my gosh. Pictures does not do this thing justice. Mike, it's in spectacular condition. Okay, so about 2,000 of these were made back in 1970, right?
1935. For your viewers, they built the Dodge Daytona in 1969.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a requirement homologation for NASCAR. If you were going to race them, you had to sell them to the public.
Mm-hmm.
And so for that year, it was like 505.
Yeah.
So the next year, Bill France runs NASCAR at that time, said, okay, and they kind of raised the quota.
Yep.
So it's around 1935, 1942, approaching 2000, they had to make available to the public. Now where it gets interesting is if you were into a wing car, you probably bought a Daytona.
Mm-hmm.
So here, less than a year later, here's a new wing car. You couldn't give them away.
They sat on the lots, right?
They sat on, some of them, they removed the beak and the wing and put them back as a Roadrunner.
That blows my mind to think there's cars out there that were Superbirds at one point.
Were Superbirds. And again, what happened, it isn't such, oh my God, nobody wanted, whoever wanted a wing car had already bought a Daytona.
Mm-hmm.
Because unless you're a purist, there isn't much difference between the two of them, because they were all designed by the same people who were actually Chrysler engineers that they had loaned to NASA for the space program. So these were genuine rocket scientists that designed these two cars.
And then NASCAR, because they were just too fast, and then in '71, then NASCAR said no more, and they stopped producing them.
They stopped producing. They said, okay, if you want to run an aero car,
yeah,
quote unquote, biggest motor you could have was 304 cubic inch.
And what's in here?
426.
Well, so how did you find yours, though? So there's 2,000 that were made back in 1970. We've lost a few along the way. Where did you find this?
We found this actually back in the day. You might have heard of the Imperial Auto Collection.
Mm-hmm.
I happen to be good friends with the Williams family, John and Don and Rob. And we've been looking for a long time. And they said, hey, this is rolled in. Now, this is a 2.0, because this configuration, you can't find it. And so we've done our work on, we're making the way that we think they should have built them to begin with.
Making some modifications and tweaks.
Yep.
Let's go to the front end here. Fiberglass?
Yep.
Metal?
She's all fiberglass.
The whole front end's fiberglass.
Yeah, because this is, I call her a 2.0. She's like
a
tribute. Because these, you can't find them with the this is a 426 Hemi 4-speed bucket seats console. As rare can be, because they were down to maybe like 35 of them.
Yes, okay, so there's that, we're talking about the roughly 2,000 of these. Out of that, this is what, one of 50?
Would have been one of 50 if it's an original. Mm-hmm. So that's why we call her our 2.0.
Yeah, exactly, a 2.0.
This is what you could have been: Hotchkiss suspension, Ram dual clutch, MSD ignition, comp cam, comp roller lifters. And she can, now we drive her the way we want, because candidly, if she was a true original uber low mile, you wouldn't want to drive it.
No, you wouldn't, yeah. Let's talk about the fender flare here. Do you want to tell everyone the story on this? Because the story on this trips me out every time I hear it.
Yeah. There is two trains of thought that they were for tire clearance, because in theory, when you're running 200, it's going to lower the suspension a little bit, and the tire will have room to kind of bump up.
Because in NASCAR, then the tire is literally popping out of the fender.
It could be.
It could be, yeah.
The other one was called an air extractor, which NASCAR didn't like, which to me made more sense because this thing was so slippery. They wanted to get as much air from underneath the car as they could.
So air would be for airflow coming out.
Airflow.
But this is just on this. This
These
is just for show. This is for show.
For the street, just the show.
Color of this car.
Tor red, T-O-R red.
Can we see in the inside?
Of course we can.
All right, let's pop this open.
There you go. Make yourself at home. It's got the end-of-face shifter. Yeah, it is. There's not too much on this car that's subtle.
Yeah, but also too, it's pretty, as far as the interior, it's the Road Runner. It's pretty simple. I mean, this was built as a race car for NASCAR.
Essentially, they just took a Road Runner, did all this work on it. It's got corn-out front fenders, and they just cornet, and they made it all work together.
But the majority of them though were the bench seats. So you have the buckets. This is pretty cool to have. And then the tick-tock tack up there, I think that is so cool. The clock there in the center, that's a cool feature right there.
Now the gauge cluster to the right, actually all of them, red line gauge works just went through them, and so they are just 100% accurate. But we retained the original look and style.
So are these the original gauges, just redone?
The faces.
Faces.
And he builds the back of them.
So I think that's brilliant. So the original faces, so back in 1970, this is what we're looking at, but behind it we have modern technology.
Now the gauge for your right hand, just that one, that used to be what they called an amp gauge. And Chrysler thought it was great to run all the power through that gauge to let you know how many amperes were flowing. Well, back then you might have had a 40, powered alternator. Well, now you can be 60, 70, 80, right? So a lot more power, and you have a lot more electrical stuff going on. Those can fail. They can actually catch fire. If they just fail, the car will stop.
Yeah.
Then you got to figure out how to take it apart to get it to start. So we send this to Shannon Hunts and all the guys at Red Line Gauge Works. We turned it into a voltmeter, which now it's what new cars have. So now we have a voltmeter, which is a lot safer, lets you know how you're actually truly charging, right? And it still looks like a 1970 gauge.
And it's not going to catch on fire.
And it's not going to catch on fire. That was kind of the big selling point, I think.
Yeah, it's not going to catch on fire. Can we see under the hood? Because the interior is cool. I mean, it's a Road Runner from 1970, and it's just, I mean, in its simplicity, it's awesome. Wow. Yeah. My gosh. All right, tell us what we got here.
Okay, it's a 426 Hemi 1970 block. We took it out. We had a problem, so we yanked the motor and tanked it. So essentially, we took it all the way down the block, took it out, maybe 5 over, just hashed the cylinders, getting the set. Run a comp cam, running their roller lifters, run Ram dual clutch, MSD ignition. We're somewhere, I'll back up. They advertised in 425 horse off the 426 Hemi. They were closer to 440 horse from the factory, but they kind of listed them a little bit. We're around 460 to 480 horse. We're well north of 520 foot-pounds of torque. Yeah, for a 1970 design.
This too, the Road Runner horn right here?
Well, stand by.
Oh,
the trick will not be complete without that.
Get ready for this.
There you go.
That's crazy. All right, do we want to start it up? Start up here in the garage?
I think we probably can
Start it up. You ready for this?
Let's see what you
That's a nice sound. That's a great sound. It's a nice purr to it.
Yeah. The phrase we'll use, she's got throat.
Yeah, she does. It's that vacuum. There's a little delay on because of the vacuum, right? That's a neat sound. guys ready for this? We've done a couple Superbirds before, but this will be our first ride along in one. This car is an absolute head turner too.
I've told all my friends, I said, if you want to become a defensive driver real fast, drive a Superbird or a Daytona, because, I got to back up. Everybody, I think, in the world has the car that makes your heart go, right? It can be a Porsche, right? It can be a new Nissan bad dude, right? Mine's a bird.
Yeah.
Right? And so, and version that when people see the phrase I've heard used with this too, it's iconic. It's kind of like the 63 split window, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
For the vet. Because when you see one, you go, oh my God.
Yeah, it stops you in your
It
tracks.
stops you in your tracks.
So you, Mike, you have your video podcast that you do every week?
We do. Thank you for asking. Car Stars and Roll Bars video podcast based right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We pull in celebrities from around the world, literally. We use a local production studio and we have a lot of fun with it. We shoot NASCAR, we shoot SEMA, we shoot Concours events, we shoot NHRA. We've had Efton Brown on, Chris King, friends with John Forrest and all the gangs. We have a lot of fun with this process.
Yeah, you interview the top people in the car world, and also too, I mean, you're a top guy in the car world too. You do, I mean, if people have been to Las Vegas, the Speedway, or a car event here in town, you've probably heard, as you can tell with Mike's voice, dear God, your voice. People have heard your voice at the Speedway and all over Las Vegas. This is a nice, smooth ride.
Yeah, we're running a Hotchkiss suspension. John Hawkins and his team do amazing work. Our friends out of Henderson, the radio, especially when it's turned off, it's a 1970 design face. It's our friends at Restore Auto Sound out of Henderson. There's the beep, right? It's set up for Bluetooth and service.
But this is how kind of the original, it looks like your 1970 AM radio, which was standard in the Roadrunner.
So that's the beauty of this, what we call our tribute being the 2.0. We kind of add things the way we want them, because otherwise you're running with an AM radio. Yeah. We're running Willwood 4-wheel disc brakes along with our e-brake. I want to thank Michael and everybody at Willwood. Amazing brake system. As my granddaddy, you've heard the phrase, stop on a dime, give you 9 cents change. Yeah.
Well, that's what you want in driving this. You want to be able to stop on a dime. Can I open the glove box?
Sure. By the way,
right?
There you go.
Yeah, people driving by, filming the car. I'd be doing the same thing if I saw a Superbird.
Nobody's around for a moment. This one we gotta have fun. Now, the reason they built the Superbird was to get Richard Petty back from Ford.
And they did.
And they did. They met him in a hotel, 9 o'clock at night, and they have a sketch of this car with this number on the side of it. And he goes, okay. I sat with Richard Petty when we were doing media stuff at SEMA a few years ago, because everybody talks about the wing, right? Oh, it's there to open the trunk. Nope, because NASCAR didn't care if you could open the trunk that high. So I'm talking with Richard over early morning coffee. I said, dude, I got to ask, why the height of the wing? And he looked at me and he goes, Michael, it's simple, clean air. And I said, there you go. Then he found out I had one. Has he got a Hemi? I said, yes, sir. He says, you got the 4-speed? I said, yes, sir. He goes, can I drive it? I said, you going to give it back? And he wouldn't answer me, so I didn't let him drive it. True story.
That is great.
We'll pull back up in the garage. And just,
no way you're pulling this thing in straight.
Oh, never.
Yeah.
Now,
especially back in 1970.
And you notice my official parking ornament, right? Very, very high end. Yeah, it's a tennis.
I think it's in every garage in America.
Yeah, it's a tennis ball.
Yep.
They got all the laser versions. I'm going, no. This one does the best.
This is the old school style.
Yeah, kind of fits the car and me.
Well, Mike, this was again, man. Thank you so much for sharing your car with us and doing the ride along. And it's a beautiful, beautiful Superbird. I love it. Yeah. Appreciate it, man.
Oh, gotcha. And let me tell everybody, she's our tribute, right? So she's not a pure one because it wouldn't be sitting here. It'd be in a museum.
No, but you rescued this thing. You got it back on the road, and that's what we need to be doing. I love it.
And we can have fun with it.
Yeah, that's what you want.
So what do you got coming up on your show to let me know what to watch out for? There's one for your viewers.
Oh, do you think we plan ahead?
If you want your car, shop, or collection featured on the show, then shoot us an email at carsshopsandcollections@gmail.com. That's carsshopsandcollections@gmail.com. And thanks for watching, and be sure and subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes of Cars, Shops, and Collections.